Hello, friends. This is another Unfiltered podcast here. A sad one, unfortunately, as yesterday, December 28th, we lost a football icon. I think legend, the word legend, it's not even big enough to understand how big John Madden was. John Earl Madden passed away age 85 yesterday. Now, a lot of people probably people under 30 years old may not understand who he is until you saw the reports and the tributes that came out yesterday on social media. John Madden was, in my opinion, John Madden is one of the pillars of the sport. Not just, I wouldn't say he's the greatest coach of all time. I wouldn't put him on Mount Rushmore coaches. But his influence of the game, from the fact that he coached, the fact that he is a broadcaster, the fact that he also, his video game was one of the biggest games probably in the history of mankind. The Madden franchise has been, to this day, it stands the test of time to this day. We're talking 30 plus years. John Madden was an influence on me. Him and Pat Summerall. My first exposure to football was in 1990, and John Madden was the color guy and the number one football broadcast team on CBS. I'm a New York Giants fan, so John Madden did a lot of New York Giants games. My favorite moment, one of my favorite moments of sports history to this day, definitely one of my favorite moments, as a child, was the call and I shared this on social media yesterday, following the news of his passing. The footage and the broadcast of the end of the Giants-Niners 1990 NFC Championship game, in which the Giants prevented a potential Niners repeat, which would have been the first one in league history. It was definitely a moment that, obviously, it's legendary for me personally, but for a lot of people who also are Giants fans and even Niners fans who don't obviously look at it as a bad, a negative. But they, those two, but John Madden especially too, his influence in the game it's unparalleled. You forget that he used to be a coach. You forget that, and he only coached 10 years. He coached only 10 years with one team. And he won he won 76% of his games as a head coach in the league. So he was obviously a really good coach. He won a Super Bowl, won an AFL championship as well too. The news of his death is not really a surprise, honestly, because while he's a very private guy, we did have some reports the last couple of months that his health had been relatively on the decline anyway. I would say the last couple of years we heard little things here, rumors about his health. So him passing away isn't necessarily a shocker, even though the NFL says that it was a shocking passing or whatever it may be. I was not shocked at all. But it doesn't even matter at this point. Again, you look at John Madden, and people who don't have an understanding of how great he was, how influential he was. Again, the Madden video game is just one piece of the pie. Again, head coach, one of the greatest head coaches of all time in a 10-year sample. And then the A-team of broadcasting. I know he did work also with Al Michaels, which actually was pretty good too. He did a little bit of Monday Night Football in his latest career. But to me, when you think of broadcasting and John Madden, for me, it's him and Pat Summerall. It's the golden voice. It is those two guys are the standard, not just in football broadcasting. They were the standard for broadcasting, period. I would put them on a Mount Rushmore of broadcasting teams in any sport. That includes wrestling, that includes basketball, baseball, hockey. I will put them up against anybody on Mount Rushmore. Just the way they did games, the way John Madden brought... And the thing with John Madden, and I look back today, especially in hindsight, he made football cool, and I don't think he was trying to do that. He wasn't necessarily a cool guy in that sense that, you think John Madden is just like a suave individual, whatever. But the things he did, the little things he did, the little nuances of the broadcasting he did, the charts and the some of the sound effects, the booms and all that and whatnot. Some of the wit, and I think also Pat Summerall I think Pat Summerall actually made him an even better broadcaster too, because Pat Summerall knew how to leave enough room for Madden to do his thing. And yet Madden did the same thing with Summerall as well too. John Madden made football cool. And the thing is, again, he didn't have to try hard to do that. That's the thing that gets me. And again, John Madden football, my exposure to video games, it was Mario Brothers and it was John Madden football. I remember I owned the first Madden football game on a console, Madden 90, old Madden 92, a bunch of the Maddens into the decade. So John Madden played a huge role in my life, even though I never knew the guy, or met the guy, for that matter. John Madden played a significant role in my childhood, as a voice, as entertainment, and as a historian of the game. So, remember John Madden today, 1885, was passing, and I hope kids today understand, especially kids who are trying to get into broadcasting. You have. I mean, you're wrong. You got great broadcasters today. I know a lot of people don't like Joe Buck, but I think Joe Buck is still one of the best in the game. Jim Nantz. Tony Romo's doing a fantastic job at CBS. Color guys especially too. Aikman's not bad. But all these guys lay at the feet of what John Madden did. John Madden is the standard. John Madden, Pat Summerall is the standard. I'm not keeping Pat Summerall's name but it applies because that's the tandem. You can't mention one or the other. When Summerall died a couple years ago, at the same thing too. Him and Madden. Yeah, we lost a great one, man. I'm sure we'll be talking about him a lot on the podcast this week. But yeah, rest in power to John Madden. John Madden, the all-time great legend, the icon of football.